Okay, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So last class we are actually solving this root locus problem. So we'll continue with that. Slide is visible, na? Slide is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So consider a unity feedback control system with the following feedback forward path transfer function. G is equal to K by S into S square plus 4S plus 8. Plot the root loci for the system. So we'll follow the same process. So first we'll identify the poles and zeros. So S equal to 0, there is a pole, and S square plus 4S plus 8. So we'll solve this and we'll get -2 plus J2 and -2 minus J2. So these are the basically poles which are present in this particular transfer function. So we'll plot this thing in the S plane. Okay, so S equal to 0, there is a pole. S equal to 0, there is a pole. Then we have S equal to -2 plus J2. So -2 plus J2, there is a pole, and one more pole is there at -2 minus J2. Okay. So this is the location of the poles. Okay. Yes or no? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now we have to decide whether any root locus will be present here or not. Okay, any point if we take, this is let us say -2 point. So between this to -2, whether there will be a root locus or not. Yes, there will be a root locus because if we take any point here, so number of poles plus zeros, that is equal to odd number. So there will be a root locus which will originate from here. Okay. So since there is only one pole at S equal to 0, the entire left half of the real axis is the part of the root locus. Obviously, that we have actually shown just now. Now, number of root loci, that is equal to number of poles P equal to 3, number of zeros Z equal to 0. So number of root loci will be N equal to P. That means obviously there will be 3 number of root loci. Okay. So now you need to calculate what is the value of the centroid. So please calculate what is the value of the centroid. You calculate what is the value of centroid. Sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. What is the value? What is the value?
Sir, 0.
How it is 0? How it is 0? Sum of poles is how much? Sum of poles
-4.
-4.
And sum of poles minus sum of zeros is how much? Sorry, number of poles minus number of zeros. That is how much?
So minus
Sir,
4.
3. Sir, minus 4 by 3, sir.
So what is how much is the value?
So minus 4 by 3.
So that means how much? Minus 1.33. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will be your centroid point. Okay. So if we see that, so that means minus 1.33. Let us say minus 1.33 is this point. This is your minus 1.33. So this is your centroid point. Okay. Now next we'll see. So now you calculate angle of asymptotes. How many asymptotes will be there? There will be 3 number of asymptotes. Okay. So first you apply that formula. What is that formula? 2k plus minus 1 into 180 degree by p minus z. Yes or no? 2k plus 1 plus minus 1 into 180 degree minus divided by p minus z. You calculate what is the angle of asymptotes? You tell me. Pi equal to 2k plus minus 1 into 180 degree into p minus z. What will be the angles? There will be 3 number of asymptotes for this problem.
60 degrees, sir.
60 degree and 60 degree.
And 180 degrees.
আমি
sir.
ক্লাসে আছি, আমি পেয়েছি আপনার ওটা, ঠিক আছে? হ্যাঁ, নেক্সট।
So 180 degree.
180 degree and
300 degree.
300 degree. Very good. So there are 3 asymptotic angles. Okay, very good. (60°), 180° and 300°. Okay. Now you calculate the breakaway point. Now very, very important thing. You calculate 1 plus GSHS. Okay. You calculate GS is this value. You take this one. 1 plus GSHS. HS is 1. So then you simplify. You will get the characteristic equation. And then finally you have to calculate dk by ds equal to 0. And from there you have to solve the value for S. Okay. So let us try. We will also try here and you also solve. So your GS is, what is the value of GS? Who can tell? K divided by S into S square. What is that?
Plus 4s plus 8.
S square plus 4s plus 8. And your HS is 1. Okay. Very good. Then 1 plus GSHS. This is equal to 0. This is your characteristic equation. So 1 plus K divided by S into S square plus 4s plus 8 equal to 0. So S into S square plus 4s plus 8 plus K equal to 0. So this is S cube plus 4s square plus 8s plus K equal to 0. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now you differentiate. What is that? dk by ds equal to 0. Right? Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
calculate minus s cube minus 4s square minus 8s. So dk by ds, this will be your 3s square minus 8s minus 8. This is equal to 0. From there, you calculate the value of s. Value of s you calculate. How much is the value of s? Please tell me. This is a quadratic equation. Bs square. This is 3s square plus 8s plus 8 equal to 0. You apply that Sridhar Acharya rule. Quadratic equation. There will be two roots. What are those two roots?
minus 1.33
And
minus j 0.94
minus 1.33 minus
minus j 0.9.
and another.
Another one will be minus 1.33 plus j 0.9.
Okay, let us check it. Let us check. Yes, j 0.943. Are you getting this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have to see whether this will be your breakaway point or not. Okay. We have to cross check it. Okay. Now we have got minus 1.33 plus minus j 0.943. Okay. So this is a complex number. Okay. Now if we see the actual point on your S plane, so this point will be something minus 1.33 here, one breakaway point will be here, another breakaway point will be here. Now, do you think is it possible? What is the meaning of the root, this breakaway point? Breakaway point means two root locus will meet at a point and from there they will terminate. Okay, they will move into different direction. But here you see these 2 points are imaginary points. So always you remember, if there is any imaginary point you are getting after solving this problem, after solving any problem, then you have to discard, because you have to think that the breakaway point will always lie in the real axis. So these 2 points, that means minus 1.33 plus minus j 0.943, these 2 points cannot be your breakaway point. Cannot be your breakaway point. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next you have to see the point of intersection with the imaginary axis. So you need to calculate first what is the value of k. So you apply the characteristic equation and from there you calculate the value of k. Okay, you form the Rauthavich. You form the Rauthavich. From there you calculate what is the value of k for the system to be stable.
K 32.
K is 32. Now you form the auxiliary equation taking k equal to 32 and calculate the roots, the imaginary roots or the complex conjugate roots. Have you understood what I mean to say?
Yes, sir. Plus minus j 2.83.
Plus minus j 2.83. Very good, very good. All of you have understood what she had just now told. Any doubt? If you have understood, then you can solve this root locus problem. Okay. Any doubt from anyone? You can ask. Any step, anywhere in the root locus. If you are facing any problem, please tell me, because we are actually discussing this numerical problem. Okay,
Sir, auxiliary equation, sir.
auxiliary equation. Very good. I'll just tell you. Have you understood how we have got this k equal to 32?
Yes, sir, equating to 0.
This is the normal process that is in the Routh-Harwich, how we are actually determining the value of k. This is the process which we are actually following in the Routh array. Now what we'll do, we have to calculate the roots. The roots which is actually point of intersection with the imaginary axis. So actually why we are interested, this root locus will actually cut the imaginary axis at a particular point. Now which point it will cut? Okay, so the meaning is, I will just why we are interested for this particular intersection point, because you see from here the root locus is a pole. So from pole the root locus will originate, but it will move in the either it can move this direction, this direction, this direction. So that will be dependent on the angle of departure or angle of arrival. For this particular case, it is angle of departure. We'll calculate that thing later on. Now, this particular root locus, let us say it is moving in this direction, but it will move, it will cut this imaginary axis at a particular point where it will cut. These two root locus, whatever it will happen for this case, so this will be also the mirror image. So what we need to calculate these 2 points. So this is the intersection point. But how we will calculate? We'll calculate by forming the auxiliary equation. So we'll see that. So we have got the value of k equal to 32. So k equal to 32 means here you see this s square term. Always when you are forming this auxiliary equation, you need to take the s square term. So 4s square plus k equal to 0. So 4s square plus k is 32. So from there s equal to plus minus j 2.83. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now next you calculate what is the angle of departure from the upper complex poles. Okay. So what is the rule? Anyone can tell? 180 degree minus. So I will just again tell you. So what we'll do? The angle of departure. So angle of departure, it is calculated phi d equal to 180 degree minus the angle contribution from all poles plus angle contribution from all zeros. Is it correct or not? Whether I have done any mistake? This is the formula which we have discussed. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the pole. So we are interested to calculate what is the angle of departure at this point. So how to calculate? We'll join these 2 points. So let us join these 2 points. Okay. We have joined these 2 points and we'll join these 2 points. Okay. So now what is our objective? We'll calculate this angle. This is your theta P1, and let us say what is this value? Theta P2. So what is the value of theta P2? Who can tell?
90 degree.
90 degree. Now theta P1, how to calculate this angle? Any ways? How to calculate? This is
So
this
you-
value.
135, sir.
Correct. Because you see, this is 2 and this is also 2. So this angle is how much? This angle?
Full
45
angle
degree.
180 degree.
45 degrees, sir.
45 degree. Very good. This is 45 degree. So if you subtract from 180 degree, so this value will be 180 degree minus 45 degree. So that means this angle is 135 degree. Have you understood what I mean to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So phi d will be equal to 180 degree minus 90 plus 135 degree. So how much you are getting? What is the value?
minus 45 degree.
Minus 45 degree. Very good. So minus 45 degree, if you take this point, this is your point. So minus 45 means this way. So root locus will be actually, it will start following this direction. This direction, it will take the path. Okay. It will take, similarly here also, it will take plus 45 degree. If it is minus, then it will be obviously plus. So this will be, it will move in this direction. Okay, we'll see that thing. We'll see.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, previous page, sir.
Yeah, I will show you. I'll show you. Yes, please tell me.
Sir, in the formula phi d, 180 degree minus 5p1 plus 5p2. And after that, sir?
After that, there is no zero, na? In this transfer function, there is no zero. So this part, there is no question. If you
Okay,
have,
sir.
if you have n number of poles, there will be n number of terms will be added. Now in this problem, you have 2 poles because angle contribution, sorry, there are 3 poles, but that if you are calculating for a particular pole, you are calculating the angle at this pole. So obviously the angle contribution will be from other 2 poles.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it.
Okay, fine. So now we'll see. So minus 45 degree. So this is the angle of departure. This is the way the angle of departure has to be calculated for any problem. Any problem, if you take this application, this formula, this whatever calculation, this remains same. There will not be any change. Okay. So you just, I will show you that thing also. So the root locus plot, this will be how it will be. I will just first draw in that particular thing and then I will show you. So you see, we have got, this is the 45 degree. So the movement will be this way. Now, again, you can remember that minus 1.33, we have got the centroid point. And angle of asymptote is 60 degree. So if it is angle of asymptote, if it is 60 degree, what will happen? You see, from minus 1.33, we'll draw 160 degree line, and another is 180, and another is 300. So that means this will be your minus 60 degree. So this is your asymptotic angle. Is it clear? This is your asymptotic path, 60 degree, and this will be minus 60 degree or 300 degree. This and this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
very good, very good. So the root locus will follow this path. It will start from here, from this pole. It will follow, come to this point, and then there it will follow this asymptotic path. Now where it will cut? Just now someone has calculated. What is this 2 point? What is this
Sir,
point?
minus J 2.83.
Minus J 2.83, and this will be plus. This will be plus, and this will be minus. Minus J 2.8. So root locus will actually cut this path. Okay.
Sir, upper one will be minus, na sir. Lower one will be the plus.
How? Have you forgot that upper axis is plus axis? What? This is imaginary axis. This is your sigma real axis. This is your imaginary axis. Okay. This side is plus. This side is minus. And this side is plus. This side is minus. This is always true. Imaginary plane. Now, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Imaginary, it is a simple two axis coordinate. Okay. Upper part will be plus, similar to our XY plane. Upper part is plus, lower part is minus. Okay. So this will actually follow this path, and similarly here it will start from here and it will follow this asymptotic path. So it will be parallel with this something. It will be parallel with this and it will cut this. So the actual path of the root locus, this is one, sorry, this is a double one. Sorry, just a minute. It should not be. So this is the one root locus. This is the one root locus. And this is another root locus. And third root locus is what? This is the your third root locus. Is it clear? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Please tell me. I will clear your doubt. Because this way you have to solve any numerical problem. Okay. So just we'll see the same thing you have to draw in the graph paper. So this is the one root locus. I have drawn it in freehand, but when you draw in the graph, it will be a smooth kind of thing. This is the asymptotic path. Okay. And this is one root locus. This is the path of one root locus. The arrow is given here. This is the one root locus, and this is the another root locus. There are three root locus in this problem. Any question from anyone? I'll be happy that if you are asking anything, if you have not understood, I'll not mind anything. But you should clear your doubt. Okay. Now next problem will take, sketch the root loci for GS equal to K into S plus 1 divided by S square plus S square into S plus 3.6 and HS equal to 1. So here also we'll first calculate the poles and zeros. So there are two number of poles at S equal to 0. At S equal to minus 3.6 there is another pole, and S equal to minus 1 there is another 0. So we'll draw it in the S plane. So let me remove this thing, whatever is there. Just a minute, I will erase it. Okay, fine. Okay, so please tell me what are the roots are there. So there are S equal to 0. There are two number of poles. Okay, then S equal to minus 3.6.
Minus 3.6.
Okay, so let it be here. S equal to minus 3.6. And then there are 1, 0.
S equal to minus 1.
S equal to minus 1. So S equal to minus 1. Very good. Now, please tell me whether any root locus will be there in this, in between S equal to 0 and S equal to minus 1. Any root locus will be there if you take any point here,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
because the number of poles plus number of zeros right to this point is odd. So that's why there will be root locus. So let us say the root locus will start from these poles, and but sorry, there are how many poles are there? 2 poles. So there will not be any root locus.
No, sir.
Sorry to say there will not be any root locus, because if you take any point in between these, The number of poles plus number of zeros, it is 2. There are 2 poles. So it is even. So there will not be any root locus. If you take any point here, yes.
Yes, sir.
So there will be a root locus, because if you take point here, there are 2 poles and 1 zero. So poles plus zeros, that number is odd. So there will be root locus here. Okay. And similarly, if you take point here, so whether any root locus will be there?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Now we'll see that problem. We'll see that problem. Okay. So we have seen that the segment between s equal to -1 to -3.6 is the part of the root locus. That is correct. -1 to -3.6. We'll see that thing, then it will be clear. -1 to -3.6. So this will be the part of the root locus. Correct. Now, you first calculate the centroid. You calculate the value of centroid. What is the value of centroid?
minus 1.3.
Minus 1.3. Then you calculate the angle of asymptote.
So 90 degree.
Only 90?
Around 270 degree.
Let us see. Correct. So 90 degree and 270 degree. And your centroid, asymptote, centroid of the asymptote is minus 1.3. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Next, you calculate the breakaway point. Quickly calculate the breakaway point. Consider this is the transfer function, and then you calculate the breakaway point.
Sir, s equal to 0.
S equal to 0.
Yes, sir. And s equal to minus 1.65 plus minus 0.93.
Okay. Okay. Minus 1.65 plus minus j 0.93. Okay. So we need to cross check it. We need to cross check it in the actually whether it should be the breakaway point or not. So s equal to 0 is 1. So s equal to 0. Can you tell that will be a breakaway point? Is it possible?
Yes, sir. S equal to 0 is a breakaway point.
Okay. But s equal to 0, whether it should be a breakaway point, can we consider it? This point? Can we consider?
Yes, yes, sir.
From the calculation you have got it, but can we really take that as the breakaway point? No, because there are 2 number of poles already it is there, and that is the same as your same point is your breakaway point. So s equal to 0 cannot be breakaway point. Okay. Next, another point you have told s equal to minus 1.65 plus minus, what is that? 1.65 plus minus j. What is that value? You have told just now.
So minus 1.65 plus minus 0.93.
0.9. Okay. So minus 1.65 plus minus j means This point will be something here. Okay. Can we consider this as a breakaway point?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
No, because the breakaway point will always lie in the real axis. But though this is equal to 0, it is lying in the real axis, but we are saying there is no root locus is meeting at this point. No root locus is meeting. Okay, because there is no root locus here. So how the breakaway point will come? First of all, there will be two root locus will meet at a particular point. If they are not meeting at a particular point, then there is no question of the breakaway point. So these 2 points also we cannot take, cannot be breakaway point. Okay, fine. So now you calculate J, what is the point of intersection and value of K for the system to be stable. You apply Routh average, and calculate what are the roots which will intersect at the imaginary axis. What is the value of K for the system to be stable?
0.
0. And what is the value of the roots?
0.
0. So can we tell that whether there will be any intersection at the imaginary axis? Is it possible?
No, sir.
No,
It
sir.
is not possible. Okay. Though we are getting this value, so root locus branches do not process the j omega axis. Okay. So there is no question of that. So then how the root locus will move. Okay. That is the thing. So we have calculated that what is the asymptotic angle? 90 degree and 270 degree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So one root locus will be this one. This is the root locus, correct? Now centroid is where? What is the point of centroid? Centroid is where? What is the value of centroid?
Minus 1.3, sir.
Minus 1.33. Okay. So this is, let us say, minus 1.33. So here we have got the angle of asymptote is 90 degree. So angle of asymptote, if it is 90 degree, so obviously it should be something like this. And here also it is 270 degree. So what will be the value? Means how the root locus will move. So there are two poles. From these two poles, obviously the root locus will originate. So they will follow the asymptotic path. So basically, this root locus will follow this asymptotic path. Is it clear? It will originate from these poles and it will follow the asymptotic path. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? So this is the actually way, this is the actually asymptotic angle, that is 90 degree and 270 degree, and this way the root locus will follow the asymptotic path. Okay. Now, next example, that is a unity feedback control system has an open loop transfer function Gs equal to k divided by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. Sketch the root locus plot of the system by determining the following. Number 1, centroid, number and angle of asymptotes, angle of departure of the root loci from the poles, breakaway point if any, the value of k and the frequency at which the root loci cross the geometric axis. So all these things we have done it. Okay, all these questions we have solved. Okay, so we'll see. So how many poles are there? S equal to 0, there is a pole, and s square plus 4s plus 30. So we'll solve. So we'll get the number of poles. Okay. So number of root loci will be n equal to p equal to 3. So now you calculate what is the angle of asymptote. First you calculate the roots. You first calculate the roots. You tell me what are the roots. You tell me what are the roots.
Sir, 0 and minus 2 plus minus j3.
Okay, very good. So you calculate now what is the value of centroid.
The minus 1.33.
Okay, then angle of asymptote you calculate.
So 60, 180, 300.
60, 180, 300. Okay. So minus 1.33, then 60, 180, 300. Now you calculate the breakaway point. Very good. I think you have understood at least root locus. Calculate the breakaway point. The steps are similar. All steps are same.
Sir, minus 1.33 plus minus j 1.59.
Okay, very good. But this cannot be a breakaway point because this is imaginary.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then point of intersection with the real axis, you calculate, and value of k for the system to be stable. I think you have understood.
Sir, k 52.
Okay.
K equal to 52.
And the frequency.
Frequency 3.6 radian per second.
Okay. 3.6 radian per second. Very good. Very good. Now you calculate angle of departure. Calculate angle of departure.
Minus 34 degree.
Minus 34 degree. Okay. Let's check. Yes, very good. You have understood. You have understood. So can you just cross-check your answer with this plot? Whether you are getting this plot or not? Just plot. Now, if you have got everything, then you can plot it. Are you getting this kind of graph? Are you getting this kind of graph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. You have understood. You have understood the root locus. Okay, very good. So this is the last problem which you will just solve later on. Sketch the root locus for GSHS equal to k divided by s into s plus 2 into s plus 4. Evaluate the value of k at that point where the root loci crosses the imaginary axis. Also determine the value of k so that the dominant pair of complex poles of the system has a damping ratio of 0.5. So just you try this problem. Okay. So if that's all from the root locus. Now, if you have any query from this root locus, you can ask me. Any query, any kind of query. Because from next class, we'll start state space analysis. We'll start a new chapter that is state space analysis. Any question from anyone for this root locus chapter? Try to solve more problems, solved examples, okay, which is given in books, okay. There are many ebooks you can download, okay. So those books, if you have, otherwise I will share with you, okay. I will share with you. If you want really, then you just tell me, then I will definitely share with you, okay. Solve various numerical examples, okay. That's all. I think that will be sufficient. Okay, no question from anyone? Okay, so in your class test or this internal test, Routh Hurwitz and second is this root locus, both will be the syllabus for this from my portion. Okay, that will be the syllabus for your first class test, which is rescheduled. I think it will start from Saturday, this Saturday. Let me check this for attendance. Okay, so there is no question. We can end this session. Thank you. We'll close this meeting.